Well, I don't think we're going to necessarily ask for a declaration of war. I think we're just going to kill people that are bringing drugs into our country. Okay? We're going to kill them. You know, they're going to be like dead.
Chicago's biggest cartel raid in years was meant to shatter the Sinaloa and CJNG cartels. But officers uncovered something far more disturbing than money, drugs, and weapons. It was those who were arrested which changed everything.
We will treat you like we have treated Al-Qaeda. We will find you, we will map your networks, we will hunt you down, and we will kill you.
It all started with a promise broadcast from the highest office in the country. When President Trump assumed office in January 2025, he warned everyone that he would do everything in his power to stop the flood of drugs into American neighborhoods. In the months that followed, that warning transformed into something far more forceful than anyone expected. On the 29th of October 2025, while the country slept unaware of what was coming, federal command posts lit up. Helicopters powered up, tactical vans rolled out, and phones buzzed across DEA, FBI, and Homeland Security with a single order: go. What followed next has been described as the most tightly coordinated federal strike against the Sinaloa and CJNG cartels in the history of America. Agents moved in sync across 22 regions, each team striking its target within minutes of the others, giving their targets no time to react. Homes disguised as stash sites, suburban garages, drugs labs, and commercial buildings masking encrypted financial hubs were all hit at once. The raids were coordinated with utmost precision, without information leaks and compared to military operations. It was called the Surge. By the end of the coordinated operation, the numbers of arrests were a staggering amount of 5,000 suspects. In addition to that, federal trucks were filled with tons of cocaine, fentanyl, meth mixtures, weapons worth over $200 million. On the other side, cybercrime division teams were busy attempting to crack computers and other electronic devices that had been seized from those arrested. Reports later indicated that they had managed to uncover ledgers, communications, and routing codes that linked directly back to the Sinaloa and CJNG cartels. Yet in all these cases, one city kept appearing repeatedly in the seized intelligence: Chicago. This was nothing new, as federal investigators had suspected it for years and even placed it on the list of high-risk cities. However, they had not managed to obtain critical data or evidence that would turn their hypothesis into a fact. Now, the data seized confirmed it. The city was not merely another distribution point, it was the center, the beating logistical heart that funneled cartel drugs and weapons into the Midwest, the East Coast, and beyond. As agents sifted through the names, paperwork, and seized devices, one detail didn't make sense. A name surfaced, one that wasn't supposed to be there. At first, investigators thought it was a mistake. Then another name appeared, and another. It became clear that this case was about to turn far darker than anyone expected. At first, the team dismissed it as just one dirty federal agent. However, as the processing continues, more names crop up, and at the end, hundreds of sheriffs, border inspectors, and even federal agents are among the 5,000 arrested in the raid. These are individuals who sworn to protect American neighborhoods while wearing badges, had been stained by corruption. The cartels had successfully infiltrated the American system and were already rooted inside it. This was no longer a war on drugs and illicit goods. It had morphed into a war against the institution themselves. Now, the shield meant to protect Americans was clearly broken, and that brings about the question: who protects the public? This discovery forced the US government to reconsider the threat entirely. The Sinaloa and CJNG cartels were now officially categorized as foreign terrorist organizations, which changes everything. What was once treated as organized crime was now a national security threat. Suddenly, the Pentagon was pulled directly into the fight, operating shoulder to shoulder with the DEA and DHS. Within a few weeks, the country's anti-drug efforts have suddenly transformed into a counter-terror campaign, one designed for speed, force, and complete obliteration. The institutions had a simple and clear message: we will find you, map your criminal networks, hunt you down, and kill you. The plan changed from arresting individuals to destroying the complete criminal organizations to defend America. From there, the historic surge involved two distinct phases: a clear message that America would not hesitate when its citizens were threatened. The first wave hit hard in Chicago, where authorities shut down pill production sites that fed opioid circuits across the Midwest. At the same time, federal teams in Houston intercepted massive consignments of precursor chemicals at the port, cutting off the raw materials needed to make synthetic narcotics. Meanwhile, in Atlanta and Miami, agents raided upscale properties linked to money laundering networks through shadow real estate homes, condos, and malls. These were specific buildings that the cartel organizations used to mask crypto exchanges funneling cartel cash. The second wave saw law enforcement across the East Coast infiltrate long-standing smuggling corridors from Boston to Kansas City to New Jersey and Maryland. Multiple pipelines and command nodes collapsed during the raids, leaving the cartels nowhere to hide. Proof that America can still strike back against the corruption. The raids exposed something deeper. There are still officers who refuse to be bought, who live by a code no cartel can corrupt. And when agents, soldiers, and intelligence officers move as one, the impact is undeniable. This operation wasn't only about making arrests, it was about restoring national dignity and drawing a line that must never be crossed. Evil thrives when good people turn away, but on this day, they didn't. The DEA, FBI, Homeland Security, and local task forces stepped between order and chaos, and they chose to fight. But even with this massive victory, the fight is far from over. The overdose crisis continues to cripple America. Every day about 150 people die. Enough proof that these cartel organizations are still more than capable of hitting America's social fabric. The products are simply too cheap and easy to produce, which is creating endless supply chains. Even after destroyed organizations, the cartel's enormous shadow banking allows them to quickly build new capital bases. And now, with the realization that the cartels have rooted themselves deep inside America's institutions, the risk of more deaths has just been amplified. Yet regardless of everything, the raid has revealed something powerful. When federal agencies move with purpose, the momentum is bound to shift, and corruption will be subdued.